Are you tired of feeling like you're not getting the most out of Killjoy? Do you want to unlock her true potential and make her opponents quiver in fear as they run through your Nano Swarms? Well, look no further. Today we've compiled the most powerful tips, tricks, and strategies to turn you into an absolute Killjoy beast. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned player, this guide will unlock new levels of mastery to help you take your game from noob to pro in just a few minutes. By the end of this guide, you'll have everything you need to start dominating the ranks as Killjoy. And for everything else you need to climb ranks and improve fast, there's SkillCapped. We take the highest priority skills to climb ranks fast, like aiming, and then we break it down in a step-by-step course that's easy to understand. You'll not only learn the basics like crosshair placement and clearing angles properly, but also more advanced concepts like getting more multi-kills and repositioning. These courses have been getting 5-star reviews from users just like you, raving at how helpful they are. That's not all though. Every week, we release 6 brand new VOD reviews where Radiant coaches teach you how to climb out of the exact rank that you're stuck in. And if you're looking for something a little more personal instead, well, we've got you covered with our brand new one-on-one coaching on our SkillCapped Discord. All of this seems too good to be true. Well, don't worry, we're backed by a rank up guarantee. If you don't significantly improve while actively using SkillCapped, you get your money back. No questions asked. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below and get the rank you've always wanted. Alright, let's get into the guide. Now, I'm sure many of you guys know that since Chamber was nerfed, Killjoy was currently the best Sentinel in the meta. But what makes Killjoy such a good agent? Her turret is honestly one of the best passive abilities in the game, because not only does it shoot at enemies, damage, and slow them, it also has a ton of other uses. Most good Killjoy players will use their turret for information and to lock down multiple sections of the map. For example, on Pearl, you could put your turret at the bottom of B Link. It also regenerates after a cooldown if it's broken or you pull it back. You can also use her turret to watch the flank, even when you would normally be out of range, if you position it correctly. An example of this is Shops to B Long on Pearl. There are a million examples of high-level Killjoy players doing this with their turret across every map. But her turret is one of the best tools to maintain map control and give you information to allow for your team to stack other sites. In fact, Killjoys Turret is so strong that, if you saw Teet's video, it single-handedly was the reason Fnatic beat Sentinels on Haven. Placing their turret in Garage Link allowed them to have information on whether an enemy pushed Garage or C Long. So let me ask you, have you been using her turret correctly? Next, we have Killjoys Alarm bot, which is invisible until you're very close range. It'll try and hunt down an enemy that triggers it and explode, making an enemy vulnerable. But it can also be used to gain useful information. For example, many high-level Killjoy players will leave an alarm bot by front B side on Haven, and the reason they do this is if it isn't triggered, you can combo this with the Killjoy turret we spoke about earlier. It gives your team the information that there isn't anyone B, Garage, or C. With all this info you've gained, you now have the ability to stack A side, which makes it near impossible for the attacking team to win the site. It can also be comboed with a double Nano Swarm setup to kill anyone trying to push through the Nano Swarms or delay enough time for your rotates to come help you. Finally, we have Killjoys Nano Swarms. Nano Swarms are another invisible ability until you're within close range of them. They're mostly used in front of a choke point to stop a push, but are also used in certain areas you know enemies will path towards. An example of this is in front of the door on A site Ascent. They are also very good to put on Spike for post-plant situations to delay a fuse, but they can be broken, so it can be countered. Alternatively, some high-level Killjoy players actually have Nano Swarm lineups, so you can detonate them on Spike right as they land, which makes it much harder to counter. Finally, we have her ultimate ability, the Lockdown. This ultimate's one of the absolute strongest ones in the game at the moment because it can either completely clear a bomb site on attack, or it can even clear the bomb site for a retake situation on defense. When you drop a Lockdown, anyone within the range will automatically be detained, forcing players to either fight, abandon site, or get detained. It also has very few counters, other than Brimstone's ultimate or Sova's ultimate at the moment, which means you can almost always have a very effective lockdown. Alternatively, it can change the way a round is played. High-level Killjoy players will play full retake on their site when they have their lockdown, and instead opt to retake it and combo their lockdown with Nano Swarm lineups. When used correctly, It can make it so players can't escape the lockdown radius and either die to Nano Swarm or they get detained. Let's analyze how some high-level Killjoy players utilize this agent to its full potential. In this round, Derek sets his turret up on top of triple, and then has a double Nano Swarm setup comboed with his alarm for the push. Now, he uses this setup so if they try to push side, they'll make contact with the turret and he can peek off its contact to catch him off guard. The only reason he has this really strong double Nano Swarm setup is to completely stop one of the two lanes they could push on a site take. The enemy Killjoy drops her lockdown, which forces him into a situation where he needs to either fight to his death or leave site and play retake with his team. Now, watch how he detonates his Nano Swarms to delay their push at the last second, before falling back to play retake with the rest of his team. His Nano Swarm setup delayed the push long enough for him to regroup with his team and play a 5v4 retake situation, and it's in their favor, and they win. This little detail of him detonating his swarm grenades right when the lockdown was about to expire is the reason he was able to escape site and win the round with his team. This next round is from Nats, one of the best Killjoy players in Valorant, and this round really showcases his insane understanding of Killjoy. It's an eco round, and he manages to pick up a Phantom, but it's in a 1v3 situation. He catches two players off guard to put himself in a 1v1 situation, but has no information on where the final player is. He makes his way over to A to plant, but before planting, he closes the door and throws a Nano Swarm at Heaven. This allows him to plant safely and fall back to main while throwing another Nano Swarm on Spike. When he gets back to main, he clears the flank since he knows he can't be Tree, and he didn't spot him peeking in Heaven. Once he realizes he can't be flanked, he detonates his Nano Swarm before even hearing the tap to delay more time off the Spike, and so it can't be broken. He then hears the enemy jet tap the Spike, but instead of peeking, he places his turret to take contact first. The jet ends up running out of time, and Nats wins the round with a beautiful showcase of great utility and game knowledge. Now showing NRG some with some masterclass Killjoy gameplay, he starts off by putting an alarm bot and double Nano Swarm setup in hookah. He then puts his turret on top of site so it can take contact on long and hookah because he intends to peek off his own turrets and contact B long. He gets a frag B long and manages to fall back, but his teammates all die. So he drops his Killjoy lockdown to force the enemies back so he can reposition and hold a better angle. He gets a frag and then jump peeks while dropping his turret so it can take first contact yet again in this round. The enemy Raze teleports, so he rotates while using some good movement to silently bunny hop up Heaven, winning him the 1v1 and securing the round. This was just a glimpse of what we have to offer though. Over at SkillCapped, we've got you covered with dozens of tailor-made courses that teach you everything you need to know about climbing in Valorant. We'll teach you everything you need to know about mastering your mechanics so you can start playing at an immortal level in no time. Along with this, we also upload tons of VOD reviews every week that our coaches record from looking at players just like you. So rather than just paying for one $200 coaching session on another platform, you can get access to hundreds of sessions for just a few bucks. Not only that, but our coaches are also at the ready in our Discord to take a look at your gameplay and tell you exactly what your issues are, if by chance you don't find value from all the other things we offer on our site. Click that link below for a discount on your purchase today. Other than that, we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you in the next one.